A standing applause from everyone. And now, okay, I think we have enough time to do this. We will be getting to know each and every director in our midst tonight. So definitely our eyes and minds are full with all of those videos we have just seen, and I would like for all of us to learn more about each and every film featured tonight and the experiences that each director in using Huawei was able to have and capture all of those terrific videos. So we would like to ask directors Lyka Gonzalez, director Pepe, and director Sid to please join me down here for a quick panel discussion as we will all get to be up close and personal in all of your experiences. Thank you so much. You all have my deepest respect and appreciation for your craft and doing it impeccably, of course. Such a creative prowess we have witnessed in those videos. We are in the midst of such geniuses, young geniuses, diba? Okay, so now we would like for you to tell us more about the film that you just did, the inspiration behind it, and the experiences that you have gathered all throughout that production of those videos. So I'd like to direct my first question to direct Pepe. Okay, what was the story of? I don't know if I got it correctly. It's more than just things, but life in general as it happens. But correct me if I'm wrong. What is really the story behind that film, Things, and what is exactly the feeling that you want to impart to the audience while watching that film? I know it has a lot of different frames and different things going along.
Yeah, I don't know. So I'm sorry I missed it. I was late, but I really wanted to get. Because eat the popcorn. Sorry. That's not Corona. It's popcorn.
Surely it's not. You don't have fever. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, but it can go without symptoms. Anyway,
yeah.
I think it started when we were the popcorn. We were asked, to tell a story, and the first thought was, what do we use our phones to take videos of? And it's really just the most minute, most random, everyday things. Hence that title. And then from there the thought was, okay, so if we are always taking photos and videos of the things that we hold or the things that we have, can you basically track a person's life just by looking at those things that we take photos and videos of? That was the next thought. And then the third thought was, yeah, actually you can sort of tell a story of an entire life and all its ups and downs and how repetitive it is sometimes too, just with those little shots of random things. So that was the idea.
What a very enriching thought behind it, right? Even without lines, it's very moving and it tells such a powerful story. Thank you so much for sharing that, Direct. And as I move along to Direct Sid, what did make you decide to make a film out of something you're passionate about, right? Film is not dead. What's the inspiration behind it?
Okay, well, I've been directing for, like I mentioned earlier, for 20 years. So I experienced the transition from film to digital. So I was there at the crossroads, and half of my career was devoted to film, and half was digital. I've embraced digital, but that doesn't mean I'm turning my back from where everything started. So in our office, that was shot in our office at the Central Digital Lab, and it's a simple homage to a dying or almost dead art, right? And for me, that's the least that I can do to just pay respect to a beautiful medium. So it's something that every time I give a talk to, it's something, and like what Rick said in the film, it's something physical that you can touch. There's something romantic about film. It's about light reacting to silver halides, and it creates an image from the director's vision straight onto film, which is projected onto the screen. And for me, that's something special as opposed to pixels. And when I went to the office one day, my favorite, obviously that's my favorite part of the office, which is the film room. And we're very lucky to have that. And we have a film scanner that scans all these films. I chanced upon the film canister of Oro Plata Mata, you know. So,
Classic.
and for me, and we restored Oro Plata Mata, Himala, ganito kami noon, paano kayo ngayon, among others. And we pride ourselves in that. But my point is that when I opened the can, it smelled of vinegar. I touched the film, I looked at the film under the light, and I saw the images of the director's vision. And you know, for me, it was something that is emotional. There's a connection to the director's art form. You can't smell a hard drive, right?
It's true, yes.
But that doesn't mean that digital technology, before kasi film was at the cusp of, no, we're still film, we're still the, you know, but now everything is so accessible.
Yes.
And hence the reason why I created that film. We just shot that in about 2 hours, available light. And it's just beautiful how, you know, how technology has allowed us to shoot in this way. I mean, I cannot imagine doing this back in early 2000. Just something that you put in your pocket and then you create imagery. But at the end of the day, it's about the story, right? It's not about the resolution, it's not about the lighting, it's about the story and how you tell it. And as an advertising guy, you know, who is, I guess, a master of 30 seconds, something I want to just get out of that comfort zone and to present something that is completely the opposite of what I usually do, is to present a documentary and something that I want to immortalize in a way, a medium that is special to my heart, which is film.
You definitely did such an impeccable
Thank you.
job in that. And I like the way when he said there's something romantic about it, because there's simply just a lot of intricacies, right? It's more than just one process to be able to restore those classic films. All right, now, Miss Lyka, you spent days with people in El Salvador. Can you take us through that experience? How was it like staying there, getting to know those people, and what are the best experiences that you have gained from shooting that video?
So we spent around 8 days at sea. It was a lot of fighting seasickness too.
And a lot of taglines.
Yeah. I was very much sunog after that shoot. But spending time with the sea wardens in El Salvador was a very humbling experience. I think one of the best moments that we've had with them was sharing meals together. The sea wardens would get freshly fished fish and we would eat that as our breakfast, as our lunch, or even dinner. We would try to make coffee in the middle of the sea using the little water that we have. But yeah, it was a very intimate experience. We got to know a lot of the community. We got even close to their kids. So it was a very heartwarming experience for me.
And shooting how many days? 7 to 8 days?
Eight
What are the
days.
challenges that you have experienced shooting that video, of course?
Of course, I was worried because I was using DSLRs, but I was worried if the battery life of the Huawei Mate 30 Pro would endure the long hours of shoot, and it did. I was surprised. And we were able to shoot interviews, lengthy interviews, and still have enough battery to even shoot the night scenes. So it's really impressive.
That was actually one of my question with regards to shooting in that area for quite a long time. So at least we're able to address that for a lot of us who have the same question in mind. But thank you for paving the way to my next set of questions about some technicalities in using the Huawei Mate 30 Pro. So let's talk about more on the developing those videos, developing those films, and using the Mate 30 Pro. So, for Direct Pepe, can you, as a seasoned director, you probably have worked with all of the top caliber equipments, right? So, in all of the films that you have been producing. But with this short film, you only use the Huawei Mate 30 Pro. So, how's the experience in using it? And would you be able to consider this as an alternative, probably in more films that you will have to make in the future?
We shot the whole film in an entire day from morning to about night, and same thing with the battery, it just lasted the whole day. We were so shocked that we didn't have to change batteries, didn't have to charge. We just kept on shooting. The challenge for us was we had a lot of scenes. It was really simple, but we had a lot of scenes. We had a lot of actors, a lot of setups that we had to do, and we shot everything in a house. So with the phone, we just kept on going and going and going. It was good. Setup-wise, we just had what I did add was a prime lens attachment, which gave us, I think, a 50 mm sort of focal length, which is why a lot of the shots that you see are defocused with the foregrounds and backgrounds. But that was basically it. I had to keep it stable. I put it on a grip. That was it. But we handheld everything. Settings-wise, we shot in 4K, and I shoot everything that I do in 4K because you have the power in post-production to crop, which is a good thing. And then my rule whenever I shoot anything, whether it's a whether it's a commercial or a short film or the TV show the travel show that I do on TV, my rule is always whenever there's no talking on camera, I always shoot. I think it's a 60p. So I was able to do that with this phone also because then I had the power in editing to slow things down if I needed to, or to make some shots more romantic by slowing them down. So yeah, that was it. And actually, when we submitted the film to Huawei, they wrote us an email and said, can you make sure that all the footage that you used in the film was shot with the Mate 30 Pro?
They were surprised as well.
And every single frame was shot with the Mate 30 Pro. We didn't add anything else. Yeah.
It was very surprising to see all of those frames and with a high quality in every frame as well. Direct Sid, my next question is addressed to you, but almost of the same theme of the question as I asked Direct Pepe here. What are some similarities, or you could say some differences in using Huawei Mate 30 Pro vis-a-vis when you use the big cameras, and how do you think it can change the sphere of producing films?
I think it's fair to say that, I think comparatively, I think the high-end cameras obviously have a lot of advantages,
Yes.
with big glass and lenses. And
We're not going to take that away from them, of course, right?
Obviously, but
Yeah.
my point is that I think we're going to the right direction.
Yes.
Witnessing and using the phone, for me, I think, opens a lot of possibilities. And just a few years down the road, and when I look back retrospectively, how technology has changed filmmaking. And the fact that watching Lyka's film and Pepe's film, and both are beautiful and cinematically shot, and to think that everything was shot from a gadget that fit your pocket is just, for me, mind-blowing. And coming from film, that is something else. And I think we are, like I said, we are going in the right direction. And I'm excited to see what Huawei has in store for us in the future. What else are we going to look forward to?
And we are so excited to see more of what innovations can do by this company. You mentioned in your presentation, Direct Sid, a while ago, a lot of features, a lot of technicalities of what amazing things that Huawei Mate 30 Pro can do. But what is your favorite, like the top of the top feature that you have been able to use in your film? And that can be answered by all the three of you as well.
Well, for me, I think it's really the low light capabilities. I think that has always been a problem with smaller sensor cameras, and for this one, I really want to take advantage of that. So I think that's something that for me really stands out in this phone.
How about you, Dirk Pepe? Any favorite feature from the smartphone that you used?
I think, as I said a while ago, it's really the overall experience of being able to just shoot and then getting a really beautiful picture at the end of it. It's that total package.
The total package. And aside from, of course, you highlighted the battery life of it, is there anything else magnificent and brilliant that you'd like to highlight about using that device?
The film that we shot, it was shot mostly on the Pro mode, and
Yes.
that allowed us control over what shutter speed to use, what aperture to use, and even the frame rate. We were allowed to shoot in slow-mo or in 30 FPS when we're shooting interviews. So that customization abilities gave us a lot of control in shooting the film that we want.
Right, right. Well, everybody's probably taking down notes of all the features that we want to highlight. But of course, there could be some filmmaker might just be watching us from way down here. What is the message that you would like to, aside of course the one that stuck to me the most is just shoot, right? But for director Lyka and director Sid, is there anything else that you'd like to inspire other people or budding filmmaker to further his or her craft?
There is no excuse not to shoot. I mean, I hate to go back from where I started, but I mean, back then, I mean, a film camera would cost you an arm and a leg.
Mm-hmm.
So now everything is more accessible. So for a budding filmmaker, just go out and shoot anything. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, and eventually you'll probably be able to see your own work on screen. And basically that's it.
How about you, Lyka?
I agree with Sid. There's no excuse to shoot, but also one thing that the Huawei Mate 30 Pro allows us to do is it's very sleek, it's inconspicuous, it's easy to carry around, and if you're a aspiring documentary filmmaker, it gives you that space for the subject to be more open to you and be more honest to you, because if you want to capture the truth or their story, they're more confident speaking with us just with a phone, because with digital SLRs it can be very intimidating, but with a phone you can just shoot anything, and it's like a part of a family or a part of a community. It's there.
Thank you so much. Let's give them a big round of applause. You know what? I am just saying that you might just be talking to a budding filmmaker, but you know what? As for my story, I actually was part of a communication arts student who took up, I had some subjects back in film production, and that love for film production has taken a back seat because of intimidating, as you said, intimidating equipment that would cost you an arm and a leg. But your phone, it's very now useful. You cannot just use it for communicating, but you can even pursue your dreams and pursue your passion by just a click of your finger, right? So let's give them a big round of applause, everybody. But of course, if there's any one of you who would like to throw in a question or two to any of our speakers tonight, please feel free. Hi, we have our event coordinators to hand you over a microphone. And please state your name and who you would like to address your question